Imagine this. You're a blue-collar worker walking to your night shifts in Victorian England. You read in the papers about the horrendous murders of Martha Tavern and Mary Nichols. As you hear the soles of your workman's boots clasping up against the cobblestone walkway, you hear it eerily echoing back to you, and it sounds as if someone is following closely behind you. As you turn the corner, you see a shadow in the distance speed off very quickly at unearthly speed. You get a whiff of iron. You pierce your eyes in that direction of where you smell the scent of iron, and you see something laying there on the ground. You stop and chills run down your spine because you realize it is a body that has been mutilated into an unrecognizable condition. Today we'll be talking about Jack the Ripper and his infamous murders. The story of these murders are both historic and horrendous. They are easily found in about books and movies and history books and everything because it is a very significant story. So imagine you are a resident and you hear a commotion outside, and you peel your curtain back slowly, and you see these bystanders and police all surrounding something, and you realize it's a body. And shocking, right? And so there's a dozen victims that were murdered. 5 of them were very similar, so they were probably killed by the same person, more than likely. People think that they were. They were all very similar, all 12 of them. They were all unfortunate prostitute workers, trying to make some extra money. Begg and Bennett both talk about this in their book, Jack the Ripper, The Forgotten Victims. They talk about all 12 of the prostitutes and the main 5. Most of them have some sort of small criminal record, like public intoxication, disturbance of the public, and many of the witnesses have the same story, saying that when they see these prostitutes, they were intoxicated, they were all with men. That's a common sight, being seen with men, a prostitute being seen with men, because it's their clients. They never really found a murder suspect in the end. No charges were made, no time was served. They don't know if it was the same person killed them all or multiple. They never figured that out. And the murders baffled the police for years and years, and it still does. They had many fake leads and claims, some by the news, but they had many of them, so it just made the police go around in circles. They ruled out suspects one by one, and that left them with no suspect at all. But they know for sure that this suspect or suspects were severely mentally ill, because no one normal could commit something this gory or cruel. Montague John Druitt, he committed suicide by jumping off of a bridge. He was a barrister and an assistant teacher. Many questioned if it was a coincidence when he killed himself because of the timing and everything. Karl Feigenbaum, he was a German immigrant. He was also a ship merchant, and he was also seen near the murder sites, every murder site around the same time. So that kind of raised question. Both Druitt and Feigenbaum were both very interesting, but I think the most interesting to me was Francis Craig, because he was a news reporter and he was married to Elizabeth Weston Davies, and she was a prostitute. She became a prostitute, and she went by the name of Mary Jane Kelly. Her husband became aware of her becoming a prostitute, and he very much so did not like that. He started to kill prostitutes in retaliation of his wife being one, and he eventually killed his wife in retaliation of, you know, her becoming a prostitute. That was, so he was a suspect. Most questions, the main suspect was Walter Sickert, because he was an artist and he painted paintings of prostitutes near the Whitechapel area, and many think that his paintings had clues in them that he was the murderer of all these, at least some of these prostitutes. Investigator Cornwell found Sickert's DNA on the letters that were sent to the police from Jack the Ripper himself. The DNA did match to Sickert, but it was not enough to make an arrest on him. They never had enough evidence to make an arrest on him. You can find more about the DNA according to Richard Jones and Jack the Ripper 1888 in that website. Hopefully nothing as horrific happens in the world ever again. Sure it will. We can always hope. The Jack the Ripper story was romanticized for over 100 years. It still is. You wish it was fiction, we all do, but it's not. It's actually history. It happened, which is sad. This story is both chilling and educating, and I hope that you enjoyed my speech about brief history of Jack the Ripper and his killings. Thank you for your time.